trying to check my connection. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Hey, guys. Hey, it is, what's today? Wednesday? Ooh, my God. It feels like it should be Thursday or Friday because the way this week has snatched me by the back of my neck. This week has snatched me by the back of the neck. But hey, I promise I won't be on here long. I honestly don't even know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I just decided to hop on and I'm going to just chat. So, hey. But yeah, so it feels like it's definitely Wednesday. It feels like it's Thursday or Friday, or it should be Thursday or Friday. But here we are. It is very much Wednesday. And I still got two more days. 2 more days before the weekend. I'm like, Lord, stall me out. Hi, Mai. Aww. I've never been one to wait for people to come on, but because I don't have necessarily a topic to talk about today, I will wait a few minutes to see if Facebook and Instagram will share that I'm live, and then we'll go from there. Oh, sorry guys, I'm like, let's see. Hey, waiting on some folks on Facebook to log in, and then we will, I don't know, I don't really know what I'm talking about today, but we're gonna jump in. I legit was about to call you and you popped alive. It's so crazy how our brains work like that. Like, it's the craziest thing. I love you too, Daniel. But I promise I won't be on here long, guys. Honestly, I just wanted to hop on and see how everybody has been doing, because for me, I feel like I am definitely, I don't want to use the word season because I hate that word. I don't hate that word. Let me not say I hate that word. I think that the word season is overly used in the church world. And so sometimes when something is overused, it loses its potency, if that's the word I'm looking for, to certain people. And so I will not use the word season. I feel like I'm at a time. I feel like I'm at a time in my life where God is, I hope that thing. Okay, so let me tell y'all. These pictures, there's 2 more that's supposed to be right here. And obviously they're not there because at some point they fail, right? So I have them here, right here under my desk. These 2 fell, but I put them back up right now. I heard a little crick, and I'm like, don't fall on my head. So if these fall, I promise you, I don't have any weird ghosts or anything. The tape, the gooey thing, so I don't nail things to my wall. I use like the putty, and it's just getting weak. And so if it falls, it falls. Don't worry. I promise it's okay. I just kind of stuck it back up there, so that's what that is. But I promise I won't be on here long, you guys. I just wanted to share my heart. Again, I don't have anything specific I wanted to share. But I was saying that I feel like I'm in a time in my life right now, specifically within the last 2 weeks, where God is trying to strengthen my faith. What does the Bible say? It's like he wants to fortify your faith. And when you look up the word fortify, it means like strengthen. Well, that's where your girl feels. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm in a time where, what's that story where the enemy came to ask to sift? Who was he trying to sift like wheat, y'all? Come on, help me out. I got my Bible right here, but help me out. He asked God if he could go and like sift him like wheat, and the Lord was like, surely, like go, because what I know about him, he not gonna curse me. His faith is gonna be fortified. Like, I'm praying that his faith is fortified. Well, that's what I feel like the last 2 weeks, but really for sure the last 3 days. I feel like that, yes, Job, mighty God. I feel like the enemy went to God and was like, but what about your daughter? And I feel like God was like, she got this. She not gonna buckle. Your girl is buckling, Lord. Like, take me off the strongest soldier list, okay? No, but in full transparency, it's just been a lot going on over the last 2 weeks. There's been a lot of things happening with my family and just health related things, and my oldest daughter turned 15, and then I have a lot of things going on at work, and also just, you know, me being the sole caregiver of all my kiddos can be a lot sometimes, because, you know, working 40 to 45 hours a week, coming home and still being on the whole time with them, getting up and doing it all over again without any breaks or a break in sight can sometimes feel exhausting. And so I feel like there's this weird space where I wonder, are you fully enjoying motherhood? Do you get an opportunity to fully enjoy motherhood? So there's a lot of thoughts that go on in my mind regarding that. But specifically the last 2 days, it's just been things back to back that I can't share on here necessarily, but I just found myself saying to God, like, this just doesn't seem fair to me. Like, it's not about me, but this doesn't feel fair that this is what I'm experiencing. And yesterday morning, I had like a mini meltdown. Like, I called my mother-in-law. Listen, she's still my mama. I don't care what happened between me and her son. That's my mama. And so I was sitting in my office and I felt like the tears was swelling up in my eyeballs. And I said, let me call my mama right now. And I FaceTimed her. It was like 9:30 my time, a.m. my time, which means it was like 7:30 her time. Bless her heart. She woke up. She picked up the phone, the camera all on the ceiling. And I was like, are you asleep? And she's like, no, I'm not asleep. I'm right here. She was asleep. But I had like a whole meltdown with her on the phone and just was like, this just doesn't, like, what is going on? And after I got off the phone with her, I just felt this sense of like, I don't want to say complete peace, because, you know, I would be lying if I said that, like, oh, everything's fine. I have peace and the joy of the Lord and all is going to be well, because I'm human, right? And, you know, I have feelings and emotions and I'm still processing a lot of stuff. And so it was a lot. But I did feel this sense of like, God is with you. Like, he truly is. And all he requires is faith of a mustard seed. And that may be all you got. And that's all that he needs. And so I felt this sense of like peace to just let go and feel the way I feel, cry, be angry, do all the things, because it's okay. Like, it's okay that I don't feel like I got it all together or everything's fine and God is always gonna be there. Like, yes, he is, but sometimes you may not feel like he's there. And so I just feel like I'm in a space where God is truly strengthening my faith. And I'm so thankful that he does only require faith of a mustard seed, because that's all I got right now. But that's all he requires. So isn't that so good? Like, it's so crazy to me how, and you guys, if you just joined, I'm just chatting. I'm just on here talking. It's so crazy to me because I feel like over the years in my walk with God, I have felt like I've had to work, or do works, I should say. I feel like I've had to do works in order to prove that I'm faithful, to prove that I believe in him, to prove that, you know, I have enough faith, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm finally in a space where I'm like, Kim, it doesn't matter what you do. His love for you isn't going to change, first and foremost. His promises towards you won't change. None of it's going to change. And so why are you working yourself up to do all these works and to try and be perfect in the eyes of God? And that's not what he requires of you. And so I felt this sense of like my shoulders being able to kind of relax a little bit and be like, you know what, God, I'm going to be real and vulnerable with you right now. Like before I went to bed last night, I just said, you know, that, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like I've struggled in my prayer life because I feel like I don't pray like other people, right? Or am I praying right? Or what is the right way to pray? Like all these different thoughts. And the enemy likes to do things like that, especially people like me who's perfectionist, which I'm slowly but surely purging that of myself. But he likes to do things like that to people like me, where he will make you feel like you're not doing things the right way, or this isn't, your prayers aren't getting heard. And so because I felt like my prayers might not be getting heard because I wasn't doing it right, I just wouldn't pray. And then it was like this cycle of just like prayerlessness, because, well, what if my prayers aren't getting heard because I'm not praying right. I don't know how to pray, so then I'm not going to pray. And then my prayers aren't getting answered because I'm not praying. It was this like cycle. And so finally, I just said, you know what? I would rather just simply talk to God and trust that he hears me than to continue to allow the enemy to play in my mind and make me believe that there's a certain way I got to talk to God in order for him to hear me, or there's a certain way I have to pray. And so I said all this to say that yesterday when I laid down, I just told God, like, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm physically tired, God. I'm mentally tired. Sometimes spiritually, I feel like I'm not where I need to be. And I just need to know that you're there. Like, I know you're here, but I just need to know you're here, if that makes sense. And I just told him straight up, like, I feel like I feel by, you know, like a little alone. Like I don't know what the next chapter looks like, but I'm open and ready for whatever you have for me, because I know that this can't be life forever, right? And I just had a real honest moment with him, and then I just crashed out because I was exhausted. But it just feels so good to know that God doesn't require for you to go in your prayer closet, which is great. I have one, but he doesn't require that to hear you. Like, he's near to the brokenhearted. Like, every tear you cry, he bottles up. Like, he keeps. Like, to me, that's wild to think about a God that loves me so much that he doesn't need me to do all these acts in order to hear me or to see me or to feel my presence. Like, it's wild. It's so today I woke up and I felt a little better. Still kind of in the space of like uncertainty, but I definitely felt a little better. And I know that that's because the peace of God truly is like, it lives on the inside of me. And so I'm so thankful for that. But I just want to hop on and just basically chat with y'all and talk about how do you handle moments where you feel like God is trying to strengthen your faith. So you're going through tests, or you're going through situations, or maybe just things are happening back to back, right? Like, hi, Mickey. Like, things are happening just kind of back to back, where it's like stuff, you know, on the heels, but like one thing happens, and then before you can even catch your breath from this happening, something else happens. Like, what do you do in those moments where you feel like, okay, the enemy must have asked God personally, can I try and sift her like wheat? And he must have gave him full range and full potential. I mean, full, you know, space and opportunity. And so, oh my God, you guys, I have my Bible just out right now, and I had it open, and I just like took this big chunk and I turned it, and it turned to Psalms 56:22, and it was the one that says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Like, that's really weird that like, I literally just, you know how you be in a Bible and you just like, what's this? Let me just flip through here. That's so crazy. The Bible really do be the Bible really do be having like real stories up in here for real, for real. I'm gonna have to bring this upstairs. That's so like I have a lot of Bibles. It probably doesn't make any sense. Like, well, I won't say a lot. I think I have at least 5 physical Bibles. Because I don't know. It's something about, first of all, it's something about having a physical Bible that's just like, it makes me feel like, ooh, I can really study. But then I'm also a person that genuinely likes to learn new stuff and new things. And so I always feel like I don't want a regular Bible. I want like a study Bible. But then like this study Bible does this. But then this study Bible asks questions. So I be finding myself buying Bibles just because they do, one of them do something different than the other one. So this one is a study Bible, and it's in the NIV. And who is it by? It's by Zondervan. This is a pretty cool Bible too. Like, it's y'all, if you on here, this is just me and my randomness tonight. So if you are expecting anything or a lesson or anything, I don't got it for you. But I'm just on here. But this Bible is really cool. It has like what does it have? Like, it has like the footnotes at the bottom. So it's upside down. But it has like the footnotes, but then it also has like the history, so it'll show you like who wrote the why are you laughing at me, Mai? Who wrote the book, and then I'm trying to show it to you. Oh, so it'll show you like who wrote the book, and then it'll give you like history, which is so dope. Like, look at this. I also loved history when I was in school, and so I think that's probably why I'm so intrigued by it, is because I like, yes, I can like learn the word, but then I can also learn like historical facts. So it has like who wrote it, and then I'm just saying, if you expected anything else, you're not gonna get it. Like, I don't got any. Listen, I'm just on here flowing. But yeah, so this Bible is dope. I just had it in here in my office. But then what I was saying is, for some strange reason, I have like 5 Bibles, because if a Bible does one thing different, I'm gonna get it. And so this one is like a study Bible, and it has like footnotes at the bottom, and then it has like historical things. And then I have another study Bible that asks you questions on the side, which I think is dope, because it be asking you questions that it's not asking you the questions, it's asking the Bible the question, if that makes sense. Like, it's almost asking questions on your behalf. And I thought that was dope, because I'd be like, I would have asked that question. I would have asked that question too. So then it'll ask the question, and then it'll like answer it for you. And so I love that Bible. It's upstairs. And then there's another Bible I have that's just like that's 2. There's another Bible I have that's just like a regular Bible that I got during a women's retreat. It's like personalized. And then there's another Bible that I have that's almost like I don't want to say new school, but it's for teens? It's not for teens. It's a regular Bible, but it has like a interesting cover to the front, almost like it should be for like teenagers. And then the other Bible I have is my Bible that my grandmother left me when she passed, which was actually the Bible that she gave my parents when they got married. And so I have their original Bible that clearly they weren't reading. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. So I have that original Bible that she kept all those years. And yeah, so those are my 5 Bibles. And then of course I have like the Bible app on my phone and all those good things. But yeah, that's that. So I don't know why I got on that tangent about my Bible, but that's what we're talking about. Speaking of Job, so my brother Daniel was on here, and he was saying that Job was the person we were talking about. And so I turned to Job right here, and clearly I have felt in the past that Job's story be speaking to me, because let me tell you, the way I highlighted like what was happening, Kim? I should have started dating this, but like, something must have been happening during this season, because baby girl took her Bible and was like, I wrote like notes, one thing after another. Wait, one thing after another thing is all gonna happen. Girl. Oh, it was Job. Ooh. Oh my God, how fun would that be? Let's journal through Job together. Yo, we should do that. We should do that. I should ask ChatGPT. I don't know why I said it that slow. Random sidebar. So, as you guys clearly can see, I've got braces on the bottom of my teeth. This is not the first time I had braces. This is the second time I've had braces, okay? So, I got braces on the bottom of my teeth because they slightly shifted over the years because I didn't have a retainer. And so, these are called fast braces, which means they're slightly thicker than regular braces because they're only meant to be on your mouth between like 3 to 6 months, and then they're off. So they're bigger than normal braces. Because they're bigger than other braces, I feel like I have to talk with my mouth like over. It's weird, okay? Because I feel like if I don't, I'm going to be spitting everywhere. And so I can't wait to get these things off so I can talk normal again, because this ain't it. But yes, we're going to journal through Job. If you guys want to journal through Job with us, like, please feel free. I almost wanted to, like, I'm going to look into how we can do this. Like, that's going to be fun, because I'm thinking, like, we can either, on the Bible app, there's a way we can, like, join together. I don't know if it's through, like, a plan or something, and then it'll let us share our reflections together. So we could do that, and then I can also chat GPT some questions concerning Job, and then we could do it like that too. But yes, we should definitely do that. Like, we're going to journal through Job, because Job is... So that's what I was saying earlier when I was saying who was the person that the enemy asked God to sift like wheat, and my brother said it was Job. He was right, because I highlighted, obviously, whenever I highlighted this, I highlighted 1:8 where God said, "Have you considered Job?" The Lord. Wait, let me read the actual verse. Because that was like the footnotes. It says, "Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan replies. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has?" First of all, the enemy be trying. The enemy be trying God. Let me break this down, okay? I also always like to put a disclaimer. I am not a theologian. Is that what they call them when you're a Bible scholar? That ain't me, okay? However, I do like to read the Bible because it be juicy in this. Listen, even if you're not a believer, if you want a good story, read the Bible. This thing is juicy. This is... I don't know, whatever your favorite Netflix series is, picture the Bible like that. Like, I'm very visual. So, and I think because I'm a writer too, I can see things differently. So I'll be seeing this happen. The Bible is juicy, y'all. Even if you don't believe, I dare you, like, to open up the Bible and just be like, what is this? Like, let me read this story, okay? Just read it as a story. I'm just saying, just read it as a story. If you're not a believer, like, ignore whatever I'm about to say as far as my belief in God. If you just want to hear a good story, I dare you to open the Bible. You can start with Job if you want to, because that's where I'm at, right? It's juicy, y'all. So anywho, let me get into this, because the Lord clearly got something in here, because this was not my plan. So the enemy is basically, let me give y'all some backstory. So the enemy obviously is bored, because what are you doing? Okay, so he is searching the earth, like, looking for people, like, who he can use, who he can mess up their life, because that's what he be doing, right? And Satan Satan come out of nowhere to some angels, like out of nowhere. And the angels basically was like, no, the Lord asked Satan, like, where you come from? Satan had the audacity to say, I've been roaming through the earth, going back and forth, because you ain't got nothing else to do. Like, leave people alone. Like, stall us out. Like, you just out here roaming the earth. Like, don't you got a place to be? I don't know, hell? Like, but anywho, God was, the Lord was like, what are you doing? He was like, I don't know, just roaming the earth, like seeing who I could devour. So then God, being God, gonna say, have you considered my servant Job? First of all, I put my name in here because I feel slightly like this is what God be saying to the enemy concerning me. So I read this and it says, then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Kim? And that's when I pump the brakes and be like, why would you tap me in? Why would you tap me in? Like, there are some times when I be like, tap me in, coach. That ain't it. Anywho, so the Lord told Satan, have you considered my servant Kim? Job. Okay, we'll just use Job, okay? There is no one on earth like him. We are going to use Job because, listen, the Lord said that Job was blameless, upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. I would like to consider myself to be all those things. I'm not perfect, but I fit that category, okay? So then the enemy says, does Job fear God for nothing? ? Satan replied, have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? Basically, he's telling God, why you gonna ask me about Job when you already know that you got super protection over him? You don't let nothing happen to Job. He covered by the bullet. He covered. Like, ain't nothing gonna get to Job. So why you asking me about Job? You know I can't get to him. Okay? So then he says, you've blessed the work of his hands so that his flock and herds are spread throughout the land. So basically, he ain't wanting for nothing. Like, he got flock, which means he ain't got paper money because back then it wasn't money. But flocks and herds and sheeps and all that stuff was equal to what our money would be. Like, what our wealth and what our stock would be. Like, he basically was saying, like, anything Job touches, he's prospering. Like, so now he got a hedge of protection over him. You don't let nothing harm him. And not only do you not let anything harm him, but he has everything he needs. Like, everything he puts his hands on prospers. It says, but now stretch out your hand and strike everything. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. The enemy can catch these hands. So basically, Satan just told God, why are you asking me about Job when you know that you fully protected him? Not only have you fully protected him, but you blessed his hands. So everything he touches, all his work is good. He's prosperous. He got flocks and herds and all the things. Why are you asking me about Job if I've tried Job when you protected him? He said, however, take away everything and I dare you. Like, I dare you to take everything away, and I can guarantee that he gonna curse you. Because when everything is good and our bank accounts is loaded and we got food on the table, our kids acting right, like all the things, we ain't cursing God. We ain't cursing God. We good. We flowing in the land of milk and honey, okay? But he said, take everything, and I bet you, Job will curse you. To your face. Like, Satan is bold. Because for one, I would never talk to my Lord like that. But Satan is bold. Satan is like, listen, I was already kicked out of heaven. So it don't get no worse than this. So I'm going to talk to you reckless. I don't want to be in Hades, so I'm not going to talk to the Lord like that. Now, I do ask God questions sometimes, and I do get a little angry, But I don't say stuff like Satan. Satan is reckless with his mouth, okay? Whatever. So the Lord said to Satan, very well. First of all, I just picture Job minding his own business. I picture Job big chilling. If this was present time, Job is probably sitting on his couch, watching his favorite Netflix series, scrolling on Instagram, thanking the Lord for all of his good things, thanking the Lord for his family, thanking the Lord for his riches, and just minding his own business. He don't know nothing about this conversation that the Lord and Satan is having about him. He's just, can you imagine just big chilling, minding your own business, and Satan and the Lord is having a whole conversation concerning you? Mighty God. Like, what? Let me get through this, y'all, because this was not my plan at all. But thank you, Jesus. So the Lord said to Satan, very well then. Like, I feel like the Lord is real smooth. I feel like the Lord is like, touche. Okay, I see where you go. I see where you're going, Satan. Very well then. Everything he has is in your power. But on the man himself, do not lay a finger. Now, why would the Lord give Satan permission to wreak havoc on this man's life? Why would he do that? Why would you say that, Lord? Like, why would you give Satan permission to wreak havoc on Job's life? Job is big chilling. Job is chilling. He's looking at the fruit of the land, that he's all of his work prospering. He watching his Netflix series. He is minding his own business. He does not know that you and Satan is having a conversation about him. He is fine. And here y'all are making a whole agreement about Job's life, and Job don't even know. So Satan has said all this stuff to God, and God says, very well, I take my hands off of it. You now have complete control over all things Job, but Job himself, don't put your hands on him. Everything else, free game. We're going to see if he going to curse me. Let me tell you. If Job's book in the Bible was called Kim, it would have ended in chapter 1. Because let me tell you, the way the enemy said, got him. The enemy was like, say less, Lord. I'm on it. And started wreaking havoc on this man's life. Y'all, havoc. So God says, don't lay a finger on him, on the man. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, obviously, because he got what he wanted. So he like, you sure about that? Cool. I'm not going to ask no more questions. I'm out. Satan was talking all that mess, going toe to toe with the Lord, having something to say each and every time. But the minute the Lord was like, cool, like take it. Now he ain't got nothing to say. Now he just dipping out. So he gonna dip out. Dip from out of his presence, okay? So it says, one day when Job's son and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys were gazing nearby, and the Sabines, I guess that is, attacked and made off with them. Y'all, we just heard that his flocks, his animals, all that stuff was good. Like the prospering. What, no Sabines, whatever that is. What is a Sabine? Let me look that up. Sabine. It has a J on it. So if you go to the footer where the J is, what chapter is this? 1 verse. Listen, we're going to work this Bible together because let me tell you, I told you I'm not no theologian. I'm learning this Bible with you, okay? So if we go to 1 verse, what's this? 15? So 1:15. It says that a Sabine, okay. So Sabines, it says, was probably south were probably South Arabians from Sheba, whose descendants became wealthy traders in spices, gold, and precious stones. See, that's why you need a footer in your Bible, because girl, I thought Sabines was an animal that attacked the flocks, but I guess it was people. So people came. It was some people came and attacked, and then took them. It says they put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one to escape to tell you. So basically, these Sabines, which according to the footer were probably South Arabians from Sheba, came and took the flock, killed the servants, and only one servant survived to run and tell Job what was happening, to tell them what was happening. Then it says, while he was still speaking, listen. Thank you, Daniel. It was so good to have you on here. So then it says, while he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I'm the only one who escaped to tell you. Now, okay. Okay, first of all, the Sabines that already took up my donkeys and my servants, then already snatched them up. Before the one person that escaped could finish telling their story, another servant comes to tell me another bad story about some fire falling from heaven, burning up all my sheep and burning up all my servants. This has happened simultaneously. Like, this happened at the same time, okay? The same time. While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the Chaldeans, we're going to find out what that is too, okay, y'all? Formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put the servants to sword, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you. So before the second servant could even finish telling his story about the fire from heaven burning up all the sheep and servants, another servant comes and says that these Chaldeans, let's find out what the Chaldeans are. So what's this? Chapter 1, verse 17. If you go to the thing, so it says, is it Chaldeans? Anywho, it says they're people who were nomadic. Oh, like so nomad people. Okay. Interesting. So they came and basically, killed up the camels and some more servants. Okay. While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, your sons... Okay, what is it? Girl, listen, my friend Monica then came up here and phonetically spelled it, and I'm still like, cool. Those things. They came. So while he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the other oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. So we got one messenger that comes running in like a madman, telling them about the Sabines, who basically killed the donkeys and the oxen and the servants. Before he could finish his story, another servant runs to tell Job that fire came down from heaven, burned up the doggone sheep and servants. Before he could finish telling his story, another servant came and said that those people that Monica put in there formed some raiding parties, took the camels and killed the servants. And before he could even finish his story, another servant comes and says, while your kids was drinking at your oldest kid's house, a tornado came and cleared them all out. Everybody dead except for me. So Job is getting all of this information at one time. it's not one day and then a week passed and then there's some more bad news, or one day and then the next day some more bad news. No, it is all in one moment. Job is getting all of this information. Job goes from big chilling, reaping the benefits of loving the Lord and being a hard worker, to having all of this devastating news at one time. It says, at this point, Job got up and tore off his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground in worship, and said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taketh away. May the name of the Lord be praised. Y'all, Job got all this bad news, and his first response was worship. Well, after he cut his hair off. You get my drift. His first response was worship. Yeah, when I tell y'all, this is taking me out, because I wish you guys could know. I was not going to go live today, but I could not shake the feeling like I was supposed to go live. And I was like, God, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I don't got nothing I don't got nothing to teach. I'm just going to get in on here. I'll talk about my day and my week. And he literally has me teaching on, well, not teaching, but reading exactly what I'm going through right now. This is the wildest thing. Like, the Lord is so faithful, y'all. I wish I could be baking this up. Like, I'm probably going to weep for a while tonight after this, because I'm really floored right now. I'm so floored right now. So Job got all this bad information in one day, and he got up, he tore his robe off, shaved his head, and he fell to the ground in worship. So two things I got from here. In response to everything that happened, he didn't curse God. He didn't phone a friend. He didn't ask, why me? He didn't get frustrated, which I'm sure he was frustrated. He literally fell to his knees in worship. And the craziest part is, he didn't grab his phone and turn on his worship set list to get him in the mood. He didn't go to his favorite YouTube preacher to try and get encouragement. He fell to his knees in worship. I can't even begin to imagine what his worship even sounded like. Because I imagined that it wasn't a song. It wasn't, or at least not our version of a song. Like, when we say we worship, we're going to sing our favorite Maverick City song, right? Like, I love them. So I'm going to play some Maverick City. Or I'm going to play my favorite Elevation Worship or Transformation Worship song. Like, that's, when I think worship, that's what I'm going to do, right? But he didn't have any of that. And it says that he fell and worshiped. Like, I wish I could know what that was like what it sounded like. Like, what was his worship to God? Like, was it a song? Was it a cry? Was it weeping? Was it all of the above? Like, but that was his first response. His first. Not his last resort. Not, oh, I got it all off my chest and told I put it in the group chat and I asked for prayer and I called the so-and-so to get prayer. And his first response was worship. And then he said to God, the Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. This was the moment that he could have blamed God for everything. Why would you give me all this to just take it away from me? Why would you even expose? Like, why? Like, he could have asked so many things. I found myself in a space where I was like, why would you let me get married if you knew I was going to get divorced? Like, we asked God all these questions. Job could have asked all these questions. Why would you let my kids die in a tornado drunk? Why would you let he could have asked all these questions. And yet he worshiped and he said, the Lord gave and the Lord take. The Lord gave and the Lord takes. He didn't blame God. He didn't curse God. It says in all of this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoings. He never blamed God. He worshiped. And he said, you gave it to me and you took it from me. That's so wild to me because I don't know if I would be able to articulate that in that moment. If my loved one died or one of my children, like, I don't think that my first response would be worship and to say, well, God, you gave me those kids and you took them. Like, I can't wrap my mind around that. Now, maybe months or years from that moment, I would have been able to see it, hindsight 2020, and, grieving and all the things. But in that moment, like, what type of man was Job that God just knew? Like, God just knew that this was going to be his response. Like, it's so crazy to me. So that was chapter 1. I don't know how far I'm going to go into this, y'all, because, again, this was not my plan. So I'm just going to read until I don't. So chapter 2 says, on another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord. Before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? Satan answered the Lord, from roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth. Again, doing too much, because you should be doing something else with your life besides roaming the earth looking for people to mess with. But nevertheless, he comes to the Lord with these angels, and the Lord is like, what's up? And he like, nothing, just roaming the earth again. So the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He's blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. This sounds very familiar. This sounds like what the Lord said in chapter 1. Here we go again. Okay? Because clearly all the things that Job has lost first time wasn't enough. So he says, and he still maintains his integrity. Though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. So then Satan says, skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch your hand out and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. Okay, so let's go back, because this conversation sounds very much like the first conversation in chapter 1, when Satan was bored and was roaming the earth looking for people, and then went to the Lord with these angels, and the Lord was like, what you doing? And he was like, I'm just looking the earth to see who I can mess with. And God said, did you try my servant Job? And he goes, I want to try Job, but the problem is I can't do nothing with Job because you protected him too much, and everything he touches prospers. But take your hand off of everything and surely he will curse you. Well, what did the Lord do? We found out in chapter 1 that the Lord let his hand go and said, you got free range over everything Job has, but don't touch Job. So basically he said, you can take away everything that Job has, but you can't kill him. You can't touch him. You can't put no illnesses on him. You can't do nothing to him. That was chapter 1. So the enemy said, touche, say less. I got this. Satan goes, kills everybody, all his servants, takes all of his sheep, his camels, his ox, all the things. Let a tornado go through the house to kill his kids. It was a lot going on. Job lost it all. But Job's response was worship. And he said, the Lord gives, the Lord takes. So then the enemy is like, well, dog, that didn't work. He still didn't curse him. So now I'm bored again. I'm roaming the earth looking for somebody to mess with again. So why God decided to still use Job? I don't know. Maybe there wasn't enough people in the world. But nevertheless, he said, have you tried Job again? The enemy goes, yeah, I did try Job. He didn't curse you. I took everything. He still stood upright, confessed your name, whatever the case may be. He says, but if you take your hands off of him and let me attack him, the man, physically, every man will give up anything for himself. Because let me tell you, you put somebody in enough pain, they gonna give in to something. That's basically what the enemy said. I don't like the enemy's tactics, but nevertheless, he puts this proposal up. So now that's what's different in chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 was saying, you got your hand on all of his stuff. He's not, I can't touch none of that. So the Lord was like, sure, have at it. But now this chapter, but remember, God said, don't touch him. Well, this chapter, now he gives Satan free range to touch Job. So let's see what happens. So Satan says, skin for skin, like a man's going to give everything he has for his own life. But stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and surely he will curse you to your face. So then the Lord said to Satan, the same thing he said in chapter 1, which was, very well then, he's in your hands. But you must spare his life. God always got a but, huh? So he said, okay, fine. Have at it. Do what you will with his life and his body. But don't kill him. Did you just give the enemy permission to torture Job? Why, yes. That's exactly what happens. Satan now has permission to torture Job. Okay? So Satan is like, say less. He dips out of the presence. No more conversation. Just like chapter 1. It says, so Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and he afflicted Job with pain, with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Let me tell you, Satan wastes no time. That also teaches me something, because if only we were as swift and obedient to the Lord as Satan is. Because let me tell you, before the Lord could even say, you have permission to do what you want with Job's body, the enemy was like, say less, boop, it was out. Imagine if we were that swift. When the Lord told us to do something, we were like, say less, I got this. Like Satan was like, he wasted no time. He left and just immediately started putting painful sores on Job's body. I imagine Job, once again, maybe not big chilling this time, because grief is real. And so even though he was a man that didn't curse God, he was still human. He was still flesh. And though it doesn't say it in the Bible, maybe it does. Maybe I need to finish reading it. I imagine that he was grieving bad from all of this loss. And it probably says it somewhere in here. But I imagine Job, he wasn't big chilling like he was in chapter 1. But I still imagine him sort of going through life. I imagine him grieving. But I imagine him going through the day-to-day motions, not thinking surely the worst is over. Like, my kids are gone. I got to rebuild my stock. Like, life moves on. I imagine him sort of like, you know what we do when grief happens. If as long as there's breath in our body, we got to get up and we got to still move. So I imagine him still moving along with life, not thinking that here comes Satan again to mess with him. So it says, so Satan left out the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm going about my day, minding my own self's business, and all of a sudden, painful sores started to pop up on my body. Not just one sore here or one sore here that's a little irritated, but sores from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet from out of nowhere. I imagine that I will be just slightly freaked out. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So I imagine that Job goes from doing normal everyday things to sort of spazzing out because what the heck is on me and it hurts, right? It says that, so the enemy did that. It says, so then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. Now, ashes has that little mark on it, which means that there's some more context for it. And so we're going to see what that means. Let's scroll down. Chapter 2, verse 8. It says, ashes was a see, this is why we read the footnotes. So ashes were symbolics of mourning. So when it says that he scraped himself and he sat among the ashes, he sat down mourning. So see, I was right. He was grieving. So he sat down and he was basically mourning. Okay. Then here come his wife. Okay. The Bible don't say that. The Bible says his wife said to him, are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die. First of all, Job needed a new wife because clearly that wasn't the one that the Lord had for him. But nevertheless, that's what she said. She said, his wife said to him, are you still maintaining your integrity? Now, integrity also has that, so let's go and figure out what that's saying. The integrity, it says curse God. Oh, curse God. Since nothing but death is left for Job, his wife wants him. Oh, okay. I see what it's saying. So curse God, when she says curse God, the footnote says that since nothing but death is left for Job, his wife wants him to provoke God to administer the final stroke due to him, due to all who cursed him. So basically she was telling him to go ahead and entice him, entice the Lord. And so then Job replied and says, you're talking like a foolish woman. Good job, Job. Good job. Job said, you're talking like a foolish woman. Now, foolish, let's see what that means. Oh, I don't know why I have a footnote here. Job's wife's silence is a intro. Okay, we'll have to read what that means because it's a lot in that footnote. I want to read it, but it says you're talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? In all of this, Job did not sin in what he said. So not only did he lose everything, but now he has sores, painful sores all over his body. He's got a non-supportive wife in this because all she's talking about is you might as well curse God and die. But nevertheless, Job still maintains his integrity and does not sin against God. He does not curse God. So then verse 11 says, when Job's three friends, and his three friends got some interesting names. So we just gonna read it for yourself. It's Job 2:11. So his three friends heard about all the troubles that had come upon him. They set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep out loud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. And then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. Them some good friends. Listen, your friend going through it and you sit with them for 7 days and 7 nights. It has a lot of footnotes in here, so I'm gonna probably have to read through this. But basically it says that they sat on the ground with him, possibly an expression of sympathy They possibly had a expression of sympathy or shock on their faces. So then it says, they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to him because they saw how great he was suffering. Chapter 3. So Job speaks. After this, after the 7 days and 7 nights, I'm assuming. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, may the day of my birth perish, and the night that said, a boy is conceived. That day, may it turn into darkness. May God above not care about it. May no light shine on it. May gloom and utter darkness claim it once more. May a cloud settle on it. I mean, this man is like devastated. May blackness overwhelm it. That night, may thick darkness seize it. May it not be included among the days of the year. Dang, like Jesus. Nor be entered into any months. May that night be barren. May no shout of joy be heard in it. May those who curse days curse that day. Oh, Jesus. Those who are ready to ruse Leviathan, may its morning star become dark. May it wait for daylight in vain. May it see the first rays of dawns, for it did not shut the door of the womb on me. Ugh. To hide trouble from my eyes. My God. I'm not laughing, you guys. Like, this is not funny. I'm like, I am floored. This man said a whole lot about the day he was born and cursing the day he was born. But let me tell you what he didn't do. He did not curse the Lord. The level of Job is a G. He said, curse the day I was born. May darkness be on it. May you not even count that day. May the wombs be shut up that day. May people who curse days curse that day. I mean, he went in about the day that he was born. But let me tell you what he did not do. He did not curse God. It says, why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb? Jesus. Why were there knees to receive me and breasts that I might be nursed? For now I will be lying down in peace. I will be asleep and at rest with kings and rulers of the earth who built for themselves places now lying in ruins, with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden away in the ground like a stillborn child, like an infant who never saw the light of day? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary are at rest. Captives also enjoy their ease. They no longer hear the slave drivers shout. I mean, this man is like, I literally can imagine him sitting down, his friends in complete silence, like, what the heck is like, what is he talking about? Can you imagine sitting with your friend who got sores from the top of their head to the soles of their feet, in pain? Because let's not forget, he's in pain. So I imagine, like, I'm reading this pretty subtle, but I imagine he's screaming at God because he's in pain and he's also grieving. So he's not just like, curse the day I was born. Like, he's probably like, curse the day. Like, he's probably very, like, angry about this situation, right? And I imagine his friends sitting around like, what the heck is going on? Because they sat with him for 7 days completely silent, and now all of a sudden bro said, it's time for me to speak. And he ain't cursing God, but he surely is cursing the day he is born. So he goes on to say, like, why is light given to those in misery, and life to the bitter of soul, to those who long for death that does not come, who search for it more than hidden treasures, who fill with gladness and rejoice that they reach the grave? Why is life given to man who is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For sighing has become my daily food. My groans pour out like water. See, I told y'all. I knew it. I knew he was groaning in agony. What I feared has come upon me. What I dreaded has happened to me. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest, but only turmoil. My God of heaven. So then one of his friends said, Because remember, they all with him. So I imagine they all standing around like, who gonna say something first? So then the friend says, if someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who will keep from speaking? Think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumble. You have strength. Oh my God. I'm about to be taken out right now. Oh my God. The Bible. Okay. Let me wrap my mind around this. Let me wrap my mind around this, y'all. If you just hopped on, this was not planned, so you're gonna have to go back and watch from the beginning. I was sharing how I was going through some ish, and I felt like I was the person in the Bible that the enemy asked the Lord, like, surely you gon' like let me at him. And the Lord was like, sure. And then my brother Daniel was like, oh, you're talking about Job. And so I have my Bible down here, so I switched over to Job randomly because and you'll see it in there. So I switched over to Job, and I was like, oh my God, speaking of Job, here's the whatchamacallit. And I started joking about how I highlighted all this stuff in Job, I guess a few years ago. I don't think I've ever read this far. It's probably terrible to say, but we read all of the stuff that happened with Job. We read how his 3 friends came to sit and mourn with him for 7 days and 7 nights and didn't say anything. And then we finally hear Job speaking, and he is basically screaming in disappointment and in discouragement as he's in pain. And then he has a friend that says, if someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can keep from speaking? Think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened faltering knees. But now who can't pull it together? My God. But now trouble comes to you and you are discouraged. It strikes you and you are dismayed. Should not your pity be your confidence and your blameless ways your hope? Consider now who being innocent has ever perished. Where were the upright ever destroyed? As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it. At the breath of God they perish. At the blast of his anger they are no more. The lions may roar and growl, yet the teeth of the great lions are broken. The lions perish for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. A word was secretly brought to me. My ears caught a whisper of it. This is so crazy. This is crazy. Like, y'all, I am full blown. Like, I can't believe that God is literally using me as an example right now in this very moment in real time. The Lord is low key that dude. Like, I am like floored. This was, first of all, if y'all know me, you know the last thing I'm ever going to try and do is go on here and do some Bible study on here. No shade to people who do that. I think it is so much courage. I don't have that courage. So I have never planned on being ever on here doing no Bible study because I'm still trying to learn this thing called the Bible. Okay? So I'm never... Let me also stop saying never because God will clearly have you out here nevering like you've never done before. Okay? Anywho, the Lord was like, let me make you an example tonight. Okay. It says, a spirit glided past my face and the hair on my body stood on end. It stopped, but I could not tell what it is. A form stood before my eyes and I heard a hushed voice. Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can even a strong man be more pure than his maker? If God places no trust in his servants, if he charges his angels with error, how much more those who live in house of clay, whose foundations are in the dust, who are crushed more readily than a moth. Between dawn and dusk, they are broken to pieces. Unnoticed, they perish forever. Are not the cords of their tent pulled up, so that they die without wisdom? Call if you will, but who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Resentment kills a fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself seen a fool taking root, but suddenly his house was cursed. His children are far from safety, crushed in the courts without a defender. The hunger his friend had a lot to say. The hunger consumes his harvest, taking it among the thorns, and the thirsty paint from his wealth. From hardship does not spring from the soil, nor does the trouble sprout from the ground. Yet man is born into trouble as surely as sparks fly upward. But if I were you, I would appeal to God. I will lay my cause before him. He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. He provides rain for the earth. He sends water on the countryside. The lowly he sets on high, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm just really floored right now. He saves the needy from the sword in their mouths. He saves from the clutches of the powerful. So the poor have hope, and the injustice shuts his mouth. Blessed is the one whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heals. From 6 calamities he will rescue you. In 7 no harm will touch you. In famine he will deliver you from death. In the battle from the stroke of the sword. You will be protected from the lashes of the tongue. And fear not when destruction comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine. And need not fear the wild animals, for you will have covenant with the stones of field, and wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is secure. You will take stock of your property and find nothing missing. You will know that your children will be many, and your descendants like the grass of the earth. You will come to the grave in full vigor. I'm laughing, but not funny laugh. I'm laughing because the Lord is hilarious. We have examined this, and it's true. So hear it and apply it to yourself. Listen, we all need a friend like this friend. This friend just went. This remind me of my friend Maisha. Listen, she gonna let me cry. She gonna let me be mad. She gonna let me be frustrated, and she gonna tell me all those feelings are valid, friend. And then she gonna say, but, and she gonna read me just like, what is this man's name? Eliphaz. I'm gonna say his name is Eliphaz. She gonna read me like Eliphaz just read Job, because I mean that brother just said, get up. So then let's see what Job say. So then Job replied, if only my anguish could be weighed and all of my misery be placed on scales, it will surely outweigh the sands of the seas. He is really going through it. And I get it. No wonder my words have been, what is this? This is chapter 6, verse 3. Let's see what this one means. Chapter 6, verse 3. Job appeals for sympathetic understanding of harsh words he spoke. Oh, okay. So he's basically appealing to God for sympathy about the harsh words that he used previously. Okay, I get it. I would too. The arrows of the Almighty One are in me. My spirit drinks in their poison. God's terrors are martial. Now listen, there's a lot of, remember when I told you guys that there's letters on the sides of, there's like letters on the side of some of the verses. So anytime there's letters on the side of the verses, there's footnotes at the bottom. And so there's a lot of letters in this. And so if you're listening to me read it and you're like, this is not making sense, because sometimes the word is like in parables and it's like it feels like you're reading a big old riddle. Getting a Bible that has footnotes helps so much, because if you don't understand it because it sounds like a riddle or it's like a parable, or you're not even sure what the word means, like the footnotes will better explain it. And so I'm just reading it because, again, this was not a part of my plan to do all this tonight. And so I'm just trying to get through it. But I am going to go back and read it and read all the footnotes so I can better understand what this conversation is that they're having together. The way that I need to understand it. So I encourage you to also go and do the same, to do like some research and study on this. Because it is kind of hard to understand the Bible, especially if somebody's reading it. And so I'm going to go back and definitely read the footnotes. But basically, Job is talking to his friends. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope. Listen, how does Job's life end? We're going to have to do a part 2 on this, because this was wild. This was wild. I'm going to have to finish reading Job, y'all, because I am like, oh, then the other friend spoke. See, this is why I gotta go. I gotta go and read this, because his friends all came. They let him mourn for 7 days, and they let him talk his stuff. And then it looks like each friend started to say something, and then Job replied to each friend. So I gotta go and read this in detail. But let's see if I can skip and see how this ended, because y'all read y'all Bible, so y'all probably know what this is. But I need to go back and like really read this, because it feels like he has some friends that was like, we gonna get you through this, bro. And that to me is like I am floored right now. Like, his friends is going in on him, and I love it. Job always got a response though. Job, listen, it just says Job. Okay, let's see. How did this story end? This was so good. I don't know if this blessed y'all, but this blessed me tonight. Oh, hi. It says the dialogue was deep, the back and forth. Okay, good. He gathered him all the way together. Yes. Okay, so yes, you're saying that it's deep. So I need to go back and read this, is what you're saying. Because she's saying like the dialogue was deep. So I'm going to go back and read this. I'll make this a priority to read this between tonight and tomorrow, and read the dialogue, and come back with some with what I got from it. But then you said then he prayed. Listen, I guess he said, let me just end this with some prayer. Okay, so they went back and forth. Okay, and then it looks like, who had the last? Oh, then the Lord started talking to him. Okay, so at some point God talked to him. So let me go back a little bit. I don't want to skip that part. Oh, it says the Lord speaks. That's the other cool thing about this Bible, you guys, is that it highlights certain things. So like a normal Bible sometimes won't have like headers on it, but this has like headers, so you can actually see what it's about. Monica said his friends was doing too much. Okay, don't tell me. I gotta read it for myself. Don't tell me. I gotta read it because Monica said his friends was doing the most. So I'm gonna read it. But you said he had to pray for. What Bible is this? So this is a study Bible by, I don't want to lose my spot. Dang, of course this is a Bible. So most of my Bibles have like that little thread on there, but this one does not. And I don't want to lose my spot. So let me put this in here. It is the NIV Study Bible by Zondervan. So it's by Zondervan. And it is the NIV Study Bible. Let me tell you, I love this Bible. I love this Bible almost as much as I love my other Bible that's upstairs. And I was saying in the beginning that I have 5 Bibles for some strange reason because I just like different versions of the Bible. Especially when I feel like I really want to learn, because I like to learn and I like history. And so I want to know, like, I want footnotes. I want to know the history. I want to know who wrote it. I want to know the year it was written, like all the things. And so each Bible does something different. This was more of a study Bible, so it has like the footnotes where it breaks things down. It also has like the introductions of each book, and then it has like who wrote it and the history behind it and all that good stuff. It has pictures. But then my other one upstairs has it's a study Bible also, but it asks questions. So you'll read a verse, and then it'll have like a question on the side. But it's not asking you a question as if it's quizzing you on what you read. It's asking a question as if it were you. So it's asking a question that you would have asked when you read this text and you don't fully understand it. So it's helping you get like a deeper understanding. I love that Bible too. Maybe next time I'll come on with that Bible. But yes, I love this Bible. I'm gonna obviously be reading it more because God be speaking through it. And it shouldn't be in my basement. Okay. I'm just keeping it a buck 100, okay? I'm just keeping it real. So finally, it looks like after him and his friends was going back and forth, it says the Lord speaks. So the Lord started speaking in chapter 38. And it says, then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. Dang, so he was in a storm too? Okay. He said, who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid down the foundations of the earth? Ooh, dang, God coming in hot. Like, stall me out. Like, I was just like, dang, I wasn't trying to be rude, Lord. He said, where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand who marked off its dimensions. Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footing set? Or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and the angels shouted for joy. Who shut up the sea behind it? Dang! God! God was like, now I didn't heard you. You just doing a lot of I heard you, okay? I hear you, son. I get it, right? But how dare you question me? Let's finish reading what he said. Who shut up the sea behind doors and then burst forth from its womb? When I made the clouds its garments and wrapped it in thick darkness. When I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place. When I said, this is as far as you come and no further. Here is where your proud waves halt. Dang. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place, that it may take the earth by its edges and shake the wicked out of it? The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. The wicked are denied their light, and their appraised arm is broken. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea? The Lord is very sarcastic. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea, or walked in the recess of the deep? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Have you seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Have you comprehended the vast expanses of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Now, God, you know doggone well I don't know all this while you being sarcastic, okay? I humble myself, okay? I take it all back. I imagine Job being like, I humble myself. Dang, like I just was asking a few questions. Like, my God, the Lord was like, let me remind you who I am. Let me remind you who I am. Let me pull up. You know, sometimes you gotta pop out and show people. Okay, let me pop out a little bit. He said, "Tell me if you know all this. What is the way? What is the way to abode of light? And where does darkness reside? Can you take them to their places? Do you know the path to their dwellings? Surely you know." Why is God talking to him like this? Surely you know, for you were already born. You have lived so many years. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or seen the storehouses of the hail, which I reserve for times of trouble, for days of war and battle? What is the way to the place where the lightning is dispersed, or the places where the east winds are scattered from the earth? Who cuts the channel, who cuts the channel from the torrents of rain, and paths for the thunderstorms? Did I skip a page? Nope. To water a land where no one lives, and inhabited desert, to satisfy a desolate wasteland, and to make it sprout with grass. Does the rain have a father? Whose father? God was like, you know what? You about to mess around and find out. Does the rain have a father? Whose father the drops of dew? From whose womb comes the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens? When the waters become hard as stone, when the surface of the deep is frozen, can you bind the chains of the I don't know that word, the Pleiades? Can you loosen the Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons, or lead the bear with its cubs? Do you know the laws of the heaven? Can you set up God's dominion over the earth? Can you raise your voice to the clouds and cover yourself with a flood of water? Do you send lightning bolts on their way? Do they report to you? Here we are. Dang. Who gives the abyss wisdom, or gives the roosters understanding? Who has the wisdom to count the clouds? Who can tip over the water jars of the heavens? Then dust becomes hard, and the clouds of earth stick together. Do you hunt the prey of the lioness and satisfy its hunger of the lions when they crouch in their dens, or lie in the wait in the thicket? Who provides food for the ravens when its young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food? Do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you watch when the dew of birth? God just I feel if I was Job, I would have just been like I imagine Job sitting here like are you done, or are you done? God basically continues to read him for a whole nother chapter. Like, reads him. And then in chapter 40, the Lord said to Job, will the one who contends with the Almighty correct himself? Let him who accuses God answers him. Then Job answered the Lord, I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth, as you should. I spoke once, but I have no answer. Twice, but I will say no more. Then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you discredit my justice? Would you condemn me to justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God? And can your voice thunder like his? Then adorn yourself with glory and splendor, and clothe yourself in honor and majesty. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look at all who are proud and bring them low. Look at all who are proud and humble them. Crush the wicked where they stand. Dang. If I was Job, I'd be like, God, dog. Bury them all in dust together. Then he continues to tell Job about himself. Can you pull in Leviathan with a... Oof. Can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook or tie down his tongue with a rope? Can you put it... Like, Jesus, Lord, we get it. Like, we ain't you, mighty God. I would never... Let me say something right now. Listen. The way he reading Job for filth, I feel like he talking to me. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna talk to the Lord like that. So I guess in chapter 42, it looks like Job is finally going to respond. It says, then Job replied to the Lord, I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. What is this? It's 42 chapter. Job finally sees that God and his purposes are supreme. Okay, so your purpose is supreme. Got it. So I know you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be basically thrown out. You ask, who is this that's up, that obscures my plans without knowledge? Surely I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. You said, listen now, I will speak. I will question you, and you shall answer me. My ears have heard you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore, I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes. Ooh, let's see what that means. 6. I despise myself. To his he became humble, so he repented. Okay, Job. So then it says, after the Lord has said these things to Job, he said to what did we say his name was? Eliphaz and Temanite. I am angry with you and your 2 friends because you have not spoken the truth about me as okay. So the Lord said to him, so I guess at some point they started talking crazy. So I got to go back, because at first he was encouraging them. So then at some point he must have started talking crazy. So then the Lord said to his Job's friends, I'm angry with you and your 2 friends because you have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. So now take 7 bulls and 7 rams and go to my servant Job and sacrifice a burnt offering for yourself. My servant Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer and not deal with you according to your folly. You have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. So the 3 friends, and the other 2 people that was with them did what the Lord told him, and the Lord accepted Job's prayer. After Job has prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. All his brothers and sisters and everyone who had known him before came and ate with him at his house. They comforted and consoled him over all the trouble the Lord had brought on him, and each one of them gave him a piece of silver and a gold ring. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. And he also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. The first daughter he named, is it Jemiah? And the second was Kiza. And the third was Karen Hatchapu. Okay. Blessings. We're going to call her KH. Nowhere in all the land were they found women as beautiful as Job's daughters, and their father granted them an inheritance along with their brothers. After this, Job lived 140 years. He saw his children and their children to the 4th generation. And so Job died an old man and full of years. Woo! Okay. Well, you ain't got to worry about me complaining no more. You ain't got to worry about me complaining. Ooh, you ain't gotta worry about me complaining. That was good, y'all. That was good. I was out here for over almost 2 hours. That was not my plan. Y'all, this blessed me. This blessed me today. This was not my plan, but man, this was God's plan all along. I feel so much better about life right now. Like I feel so much better about life right now. That just blessed me. Okay. Well, that's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got. I pray that blessed you as much as it blessed me, because I'm ready to go back and finish reading it, because at first I thought, see, that's what I'm saying. This is it's like a movie. It's like a novel, or like a movie. The Bible is juicy, because at first I thought that what was his name? Eliphaz? I don't know. I thought the first friend that spoke. I thought the first friend that spoke after they sat in silence for 7 days. I thought the first friend, I was like, okay, he encouraging them. He's like, you have done so much for other people, and your faith has been basically like you've been the person with all the faith, and now that something bad has happened to you, now you discouraged. But I guess, at some point in this dialogue, the friend started tripping, because God told all of them off. So I gotta go back and get that story. I gotta go back and read what happened. Because now I'm very intrigued. All right, y'all. This was good. This was not my plan, but I'm so glad that I got on to do this. If for nothing else, this was very sobering for me. I was so blessed by this word. I love God so much. This blessed me, y'all. I love y'all. I couldn't have planned this if I tried. I couldn't have planned this if I tried. If you just hopped on, I am getting off, but I promise you, if you are going through something, like, read this. Watch this and read through Job with me, because this was wild. This was the God thing. I'm so thankful. I love y'all more than I could ever say. I'm getting off. I love y'all so much. It says, good night, sis. Love you. Check your messages. I will, Monica. I love y'all so much. I will see you next time. Yeah, this was good. I love y'all. See you later.